If you're like many business owners, you've probably heard of profit sharing, and you may have also wondered, what the heck is it and why would I do it in my business? This video is going to tell you a little bit about why it might be a good idea, why it might actually increase your profit, and some pitfalls too, so how it can go terribly, terribly wrong. Hi, I'm Joe Collins from Avalon Accounting. So let's get into profit sharing, what it is and how it can work for your business. So profit sharing is popular with small businesses and large businesses, and it's popular for a reason. So I'm gonna get into some of the benefits of what profit sharing can do for your business if done correctly. So the benefits of profit sharing are that you're gonna have engaged employees that really care about your business because, in the end, we care about ourselves. So if they're gonna see more profit gives them more money in their pocket, they're gonna do activities that hopefully you can help them with that are gonna increase overall profitability. And hopefully you get a win-win where both parties benefit from that profit sharing arrangement. That's the goal. On the flip side, there can be some real downsides to profit sharing if done incorrectly. And the big downside is that it can encourage bad behavior on behalf of your employees. And one of the ways this can happen is if you incentivize your employees strictly on profit, then you can have scenarios where they're not working in the customer's best interest, only in the short-term profit's best interest, and can erode customer trust. So that can hurt you in the long term for your profitability because you may lose customers or they may want to buy less from you. So my personal journey with profit sharing was starting my business, Avalon, about 5 years ago. I wanted profit sharing to be really part of the DNA of our business. I wanted employees to feel really engaged with our profit and how we were being successful in our business. And it really made me feel like I was taking care of employees as well, that they really care about the business and I cared about them. So it was really a good way to make sure that got built into our culture. And one of the most important books that I read at the time starting my business was The Great Game of Business by Jack Stack. And this informed my thinking on how to properly implement a profit sharing program and keep employees really engaged. And one of the big takeaways from that book is that you do have to make it a game. We're humans, we love games and we love to know the rules of the game. So it's really important to make the rules really clear. And secondly, give people a stake in the outcome. So if you win, they have to win too. That's part of the game of it. So let's say profit sharing is for you. You've decided that profit sharing is gonna be a good part of your business and is gonna help your employees be more engaged and increase your profit. So the next stage of this is to really develop a program that's gonna work for your business. And I really encourage you at this point to spend a lot of time thinking about what the best structure is. The number one thing, and I mentioned it before, is that you want to make the rules of this game very clear. And it doesn't have to be strictly on profit. That's where I think people maybe make some mistakes in this, is that they think that, okay, I have profit, I'm going to share it. And that's the only kind of rule of that game. But that's not necessarily the case. So you may want to think about other numbers within your business that help support long-term profitability. And that can be things like customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, how happy are those people, or maybe it's labor efficiency. I mean, it could be a number of things. It could be many things, but it doesn't have to be strictly profit. So that's number one, make sure the rules are really clear and they make sense to everybody. Number two is give people a stake in the outcome. So yes, profit sharing is a big part of that. So if they meet all those goals, they get some share of the profit. That's number one. But number two is recognition. So if people are meeting those goals, celebrate that in a verbal way or put it out to everybody that they're doing a great job and that profit sharing is just a part of that. That is the trophy, but the celebrations are a big component of that as well. So number 3 is that this is not a set it and forget it type of arrangement. You need to be revisiting your profit sharing program on what's working and what's not. And a key aspect of this is make sure you communicate that this is changing to your employees up front, that this can change, because if you change the rules in the middle of the game with employees not knowing that the rules might change, you can face a lot of backlash. So just make sure you're communicating that this is an open and changing arrangement, and they'll be much happier when you do finally have to make some changes. So number 4 is that although you've done all this work to structure it really well and communicate it really well with the employees, you've built all of that trust, you may have to change your profit sharing program because it's not serving the company and it's not increasing profit. Maybe there's something you missed in that process, or your company has just grown out of that program. So what's key here is that you're going to want to communicate this very tactfully to your employees. So be prepared for that. And the way to do this is to communicate it in such a way that it's a win-win for everybody, that the company needs to make this change because it needs to continue to be profitable. And if it's not profitable, there will be no profit share, and employees will really take that on and understand that this is to their benefit as well. So now the part that you've probably been waiting for is how do you actually structure one of these programs? And I'll go into some detail on how we've done it at Avalon and how we've recently changed that based on our growing business. So thinking back to when we first started profit sharing and the early days of Avalon, was I wanted to make a simple program that everybody could understand and that was crystal clear. So I went strictly profit at the time, and that worked for a small business like ours when we had very few employees. We kind of outgrew that program. So before, it would have been, if we have profit, we share a third of that profit with employees equally. But that sort of broke down as we grew and had more different types of employees with varying responsibilities. So what I wanted to encourage when we switched this, and we had done a lot of that work on how to structure it and communicating to employees what it all meant. So we had a good trust base to move from, but when we switched it, we added some components to it. So senior staff members have to make sure that employees are happy. So we've added a component for employee satisfaction. They need to make sure that employees are feeling engaged and happy in their work. And number 2, customer satisfaction, and that's a really important component for long-term viability, is if we're dipping down from a customer satisfaction standpoint, we're putting our future profit at risk. So those were 2 components that were added to our profit sharing program. And then the third is profit. So we need to make a certain threshold. I think early on, one of my mistakes in the way I structured our profit sharing program was to share any profit that we had. I think owners deserve a certain return on their investment, and encouraging a really high caliber business is about encouraging really high caliber profitability. And so we've changed that to include a higher level of profit that is shared, but the upside to that, it can be a lot higher for employees if we reach those high levels. So something that we developed over time and really put a lot of thought into was how to structure this so that we, 1, yes, share with employees, but 2, make sure that we're successful long-term as well. So I hope that example gave you some idea of how to structure these, but every business is going to be a little bit different. So think about what the critical numbers are in your business and who's responsible for them. So you may have different incentive programs for different departments that are maybe more focused on efficiency or developing leads or closing sales. There can be lots of things that come into this. Figure out what the numbers you need to reach are to be successful long-term and have profit as a component to it, but it can vary within every business. So it's about knowing your business and what's gonna make you profitable long-term. So just have a really good think about those things and then come up with some different ideas on how to structure it. So from my experience, there's a way to take this to the next level and really make your profit sharing sing. And that is to open your book to your employees. And I know that sounds scary, but I don't want you to just send them over your financial statements. I want you to educate your employees on what it all means first. If you can take those financial statements, explain to your employees what it all means and how it all works together, then they'll have a lot more context on how you're performing, because believe me, they are filling in these gaps already, and they probably think that you're way more profitable than you actually are and might be a little bit complacent because of it. Once they see the real performance of the company, they'll want you to be successful as well. So the last component of this is when to implement a profit sharing program. And it's really critical to have profit on the horizon when you do this. The last thing you want to do is set an expectation with employees that you're about to share profit when profit might be 2 or 3 years out. So really critical to know that you're going to be in a profitable position, or that it's in the realm of possibility over the near term. So if this all sounds a little bit dizzying to you because maybe your bookkeeping is not in order, your accounting isn't in order, or you don't really understand your financial statements, well, get those things in order first. This is next level profit sharing to really accelerate your business and your profit. But if you're in earlier stages where you're not really sure what your numbers are, make sure you speak with your bookkeeper or accountant that this is on the horizon for you, and start to get the structure in place to make that happen. So thanks so much for watching. It really says a lot about you as a business owner that you care about things like profit sharing that are next level, that are really going to support your employees and support your business. I hope this has helped at least clarify profit sharing and why it's important for lots of small businesses, but also maybe encourage you to try it out yourself and build a successful program that's going to support yourself and your business. So that's it. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please subscribe, because we're putting out lots of videos like this for entrepreneurs just like you.